Hello, Doc Holliday here. I'm going to tell you about a little diversion I took from my Continental Divide trail trip. I went to White Sands, New Mexico, which is on the very eastern part of New Mexico, close to Texas, in between Alamogordo and Las Cruces, New Mexico. It's surrounded by the White Sands Missile Range and very, very close to Holloman Air Force Base. It's a beautiful country, but I must say I'm a little bit disappointed by the Park Service management of the area. Um, I'm not a prude. You know, children have to play, but most national parks kind of limit your actual footprints into the park, and areas are protected for because they require protection and for photography and naturalists. Small areas are accessible, and I found White Sands to be just the exact opposite. Bass backwards, you might say. A very, very small percentage of the park is, less than, single digits, maybe 3, 4, 5%, I don't know. A ranger pointed out that there's a couple of areas set aside for photography. And she told me that, hey, if I walked up over the dunes, I might find, and walked a ways, put more footprints in the dunes, might find places that aren't touched and can do my photography. The gift shop and park signage, as you can see here, sleds available in the visitor center, drinks, food, and sleds at the gift shop. Everybody's buying these little saucers, and you can't even buy a bottle of water. But hey, there's a lot of petroleum products here, folks. Yeah, I don't know about what those are either, but probably petroleum. At any rate, I understand money makes the world go round, and parks need to be maintained. But look at this. Every inch of dune has sled marks on it. This is a weekday I'm here, and March, by the way. And, just everywhere you look, you get saucers and footprints and people trudging around. They have boardwalks where you'd think that the adjacent dunes wouldn't be scarred, but people pop through the handrail on the boardwalks and go out and run all over the dunes right next to the boardwalk. Look at this, every single inch. Like the only place that isn't scarred is where there isn't anywhere to pull out and climb all over the things. And if they stop this, the wind would heal these dunes quickly. I mean, they're constantly moving, and they're beautiful. I mean, the place is absolutely beautiful. And if I had a family, maybe I'd have a different perspective. But again, I think it's being managed backwards. There should be a small percent where, or even if it were half, but there should be areas set aside where people aren't trampling all over everything, and you can pull out and take a photograph and enjoy the unscarred nature. But here I am driving along with my iPhone. I'm going the speed limit 25 miles an hour at this spot, and look in my mirror here in a second, and you're going to see a guy blinking his lights at me, and because I'm going the speed limit, there you go, boom, 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 and he's passing me, and I'm wanting to pull into the next pull out. I think I have my blinker on. I know I have my blinker on, and any rate, the guy's probably from California. What can I say? Okay, all right, so am I. Any rate, folks, great place. Don't want to tell you not to go there, especially if you have a family. You'll have a great time in those plastic biodegradable dune skids. And the good news is, just north on the highway from the park entrance is Holloman Lake, in between the Air Force Base and the national park, and it's free and beautiful, and the people there kind of respect the, here's the sunset the night I pulled in there, and it's really really nice. A lot of birds, lots of nature. There's an occasional sonic boom from the White Sands missile range, and a lot of interesting aircraft. But when I woke up in the morning, these little guys were playing right outside my door, and had my cup of coffee and watched them, and there were some ducks, and it's just really very peaceful. No wind. It was beautiful, and like I say, a lot of man-made birds too. This drone coming up here, I believe, is a predator bee. Anyone knowing differently can comment and correct me. It was one of maybe a half a dozen that flew over on landing approach while I was there. Anyway, folks, it was a good trip, and I don't want to discourage you from going there. It's a nice place. I'd like to encourage my family to subscribe so that they can follow what I'm doing and where I'm going. Love you. Peace. All for now. But yeah, that's all, folks.